Well, greetings. This episode was recorded in January 2023 from the Sauna Village at Malcolm Yards in Minneapolis, Minnesota, as part of the Great Northern Festival. It was a cold, well below freezing day outside. As the Saunapreneurs began firing up their sauna stoves outside, we got to sit down inside with Shaelyn and her brother Justus, and then David Dragseth, the CEO of Superior Saunas in Ashland, Wisconsin. The history and brainchild of the Sauna Village in Minneapolis goes back quite a few years, and it really is subject for another podcast for another day, but I just wanted to frame this up for you that in summary, the serendipity meeting of minds of Rod and JP from Stokeyard Outfitters, connecting with Eddie through commercial real estate development, and then sharing the sauna heat with Eddie's wife, Kate Nordstrom, the executive and artistic director of the Great Northern, was this amazing connection that was able to come together to help the Great Northern bringing sauna, like this wonderful tradition, this winter tradition from the state of Minnesota, the cold, the bold north, to the event, the Great Northern. So that was the formidable nucleus and experience of how it was able to come together through that connection. And then Shaelyn did some extensive work with a client, the Hewing Hotel, and Stokeyard Outfitters doing activation at the Hewing. So that's how those guys got all connected. But during this episode, we learn about the idea and the creation and the build of the Superior Sauna, the event sauna, by brother and sister team of Shaelyn and Justus Crutchery. Like so many sauna builds, this one was more than just a sauna build. It also fostered as a rebuilding of a special brother-sister bond, and you'll hear about that in this episode. The build project was sponsored by David Dragseth, the former Lutheran pastor and now Superior Sauna CEO. I'll keep this introduction short, and I encourage you to check out the photos of the Superior Sauna event sauna here on Sauna Times. We have 3 wood stoves, a swing, some great design with clear consciousness towards the Holy Trinity of good sauna: heat, steam, and ventilation. So please welcome Shaelyn, Justus, and David to Sauna Talk. Well, greetings all. Great greetings to you on this Saturday morning. We're in Minneapolis, Minnesota, Malcolm Yards, the Sauna Village is part of the Great Northern. We normally record Sauna Talk on the sauna bench. We were going to do that, but we have quite a crew here in this quaint area within Malcolm Yards. So we're going to do this Sauna Talk with our street clothes on. And I'd like to do a quick introduction to Shaelyn. Shaelyn, say hello to listeners in our group here this morning, and tell us a little bit about your role in the last 3 months.
Awesome. Well, I'm Shaelyn Crutchery. I live here in Minneapolis, born in Wisconsin, traveled the world throughout my youthful years, and now leading Sauna Village, as they call me, the mayor of Sauna Village, on behalf of Stokeyard. So they brought me in to help really curate the whole experience and bringing the different open steam sessions, figuring out the programming, and also inviting other saunapreneurs, so sauna entrepreneurs, to participate in this. This is the first ever sauna village in the United States, so we feel like this is a really exciting time for us to share the joy of thermoculture and the benefits it brings to your individual wellness and just the community that it brings together. I got introduced to sauna about 7 years ago at the time I was working for the Imperium Group, which owns the Hewing Hotel. And so I got introduced to John when he was just getting started at, I think they were doing mainly maintenance of the sauna, trying to figure out programming. But because I was able to come in on the corporate side, I looked at the opportunity of sauna and thought it was just like a golden egg opportunity. And so it was very mutually beneficial that it helped to bring people into that property to experience the rooftop and the benefits and the joy of the sauna and the cold exposure experience. But it also really helped to bolster John's business, and we've maintained contact ever since. I've had a few other jobs and career opportunities in the meantime, but we always stayed in touch. And this last September, it was just serendipitous that I became available, and he was looking for some help to make this event something really special and something to remember. And my prior role to that was I was leading event design for PepsiCo out in New York. So I led a lot of Super Bowl activations, brand activations, helped to develop brands from scratch. But I really wanted to shift my life moving back to Minneapolis to a more mission-driven, meaningful, something that connects with me personally, but also that I can share my passion with the rest of the people in my community. And that's brought me here today. It's a really beautiful thing.
It's one of those things where sauna has this miraculous way of bringing what seems like two discordant elements together in a synergistic way. And what I mean by that is, like, you had a very large, you had a big role at Pepsi in this activation work you were doing with them, brand development. You would think it would have nothing to do with sauna, but look at us today. I mean, how you run around the Sauna Village and organize people, even just this sauna talk and the impromptu nature where we were going to do it on the bench. It's great to have 20 plus people in our audience, and how you just work this activation business as part of your DNA. Who knew it had anything to do with your past with Pepsi? Yeah. But it's relevant, isn't it?
I will say, since sauna, my ability to maintain calmness through these times, I'm able to get to that point and lower my blood pressure a lot faster. I feel like the trained breath work has benefited me in more than one way.
Yeah, we all chill in our own ways, don't we, as it relates to sauna. But so I want to try to stay in focus on this, but just for listeners and those here in the crowd, I want to just try to frame up our sauna talk here because there's so much on the table. We want to keep this fresh and vibrant for you guys and relevant. And I want to continue on and talk about the Sauna Village and let you folks in behind the curtain on the development of this miraculous event for North America. I was sharing with David here about, and we were both commiserating how in Europe this is commonplace to have an activation like of this scale with sauna. Sauna is much more accepted in the culture and in the DNA, but to do this in America, there was a lot of things that had to overcome. So I want to focus a little bit more on that and stay with Shaelyn on that. And then we're going to talk about this wonderful build. And, sauna building is a lot about sauna talk, and we're going to do that as kind of a nice little transition. So I want to let you in a little bit on how we're going to roll here. But back to you, Shaelyn, and tell us a little bit more of the meat on the bone about how you went from an idea with the Great Northern, who approached Stokeyard and said, hey, let's do the village this year, from an idea to this reality. Tell us a little bit about that process, the chronology of idea to reality.
Yeah. So when John brought me back in, it was the very beginning of the Great Northern wanting to create a really meaningful experience in celebrating the winter season and getting people outdoors. So when they approached John through Stokeyard, because of his exposure in the Minneapolis scene and in the sauna scene, I think he was called out as the Johnny Appleseed of sauna in Minneapolis, which I just think is hilarious. But also, he's really helped to create that community. And through that, I bring, probably because, I don't know if it's because I'm a female or I like to be in that boss position, but I love to lead teams and to make things happen and to see an idea turn into a physical product or a physical space. And ultimately to please people, like to think of it as a way that brings us all together in community and really creates memorable experiences that will help us in many, many ways. So starting in September, when I got brought in, it was really up to us to decide who we wanted to invite into this community. And my whole focus was about community over competition. It's about celebrating. I feel I use the analogy of it's like coffee. You can have coffee shops on every corner, and you as a consumer living in that neighborhood is going to go to a Starbucks, is going to go to your local mom and pop shop. You're going to drink coffee no matter where it is, and you're going to have a different experience depending on where you are, and you might need a different experience depending on where you are in that day or in that moment. I think of it the same way with sauna, and I love what's happening here. And when I see another sauna business pop up, or another mobile business, or somebody building one in their backyard, it brings me so much joy because I feel like sauna is the cure for sadness in the wintertime, and I just want to share it with everyone. I could be making so much more money in my old corporate job, working in a high intense environment in an office position. And I've strategically chosen that I want to do this to better my life, but also to better lives of other people around me. And I think Minneapolis has a really unique opportunity to be the heart of that really spreads it out throughout the U.S.
Beautifully said.
Yeah.
It's been also said that, sauna is like a candle that lights another candle.
Yeah.
And in that spirit, we talk about sauna as a noun and as a verb. I'd like to focus on the noun in this transit as we talk about the sauna build that you guys did, the sauna, the noun of sauna. And with that, I'd like to bring Justus into the mix. Justus, welcome to Sauna Talk. Tell us your background, your connection with Shaelyn, and then we're going to get right into the build part of the story. Go ahead.
My name is Justus Benson. Blessed to be the brother of the creative Shaelyn, and it's an honor to be here. I've always kind of had a dream of going through a healing process. Sauna has really brought us together in that respect, and I couldn't be happier to be on this path with her.
Fantastic. Let's talk about when did you first hear about the idea of sauna builds?
A month ago.
About a month ago. Okay. And now this is where if Sauna Talk had a video going, I would immediately switch to a video of the event sauna because to think of that you first had this in your head only 30 days ago is quite remarkable.
Yeah.
And for listeners, what we're talking about here, and you'll see at least a photo, if not a video in the show notes of, we're calling it the event sauna, or we can refer to this as the Superior Sauna event sauna, right? Yeah. So Shaelyn calls you up, and what did she ask or say?
Well, we've got an idea. Would you be able to put this together? I have a shop, and very, very creative with woodwork, and they actually started the idea on a napkin, and we took it from there. So.
And where's home for you?
Soldiers Grove, Wisconsin.
And is that where your shop is?
Close to there. We're in Westby right now. We actually come from the first solar town in America, so it's the first solar village.
Fantastic. This is southwest Wisconsin.
Yeah.
Rolling hills. Never seen any ice age stuff, so it's a unique topography.
The driftless region.
The driftless, and no semi trucks go through those roads. It's sort of a forgotten area in America, isn't it? Yeah. And so, what is your job? Like, what is your day job? What do you do?
I've been a builder, creative craft. Yeah.
Beautiful.
Yeah.
Thank you. Yeah. So Shaelyn calls you up and said, we have a sauna build project.
Yeah.
And then did you say, tell me more, or did you say, I'm in, what's it all
about?
Well,
it's in the meantime, we've been working towards a wellness center, getting a sauna in there. So it's been a whole process of getting to this point. And then all of a sudden, it was like, wham, here we go.
Right over your head, like a 2x4.
Yeah.
A 2x2 or a 2x4?
Yeah,
4x4.
And we hit the ground running. And
So you mentioned 4x4s. Can we talk a little bit about, and raise your hand, either of you, brother, sister. Can we talk a little bit about the design of this sauna? It's quite unique. How that was spearheaded and help create a visual for listeners to Sauna Talk about the sauna.
Yeah, so going back to how we had, through Stokeyard, I had the ability to really curate and connect with other saunapreneurs. One of those saunapreneurs, which happens to be the nation's largest sauna importer and an amazing business up in Ashland, Wisconsin, is Superior Saunas. So that introduction actually came through Heidi at the Wild Rice Retreat Center. That's an amazing facility. If you haven't gone, I'd highly recommend it. And Superior built their sauna as well as thousands of other saunas throughout the United States. So with their help and their leadership and their, really helping to fund the creation of this idea, David, who is brand new to the business, he just took over and is now the president and CEO of Superior Sauna over the last 9 months. He is transforming that business. If you look at the website today, you'd be like, oh, this looks like a little old school. But let me tell you, there are things happening behind the scenes, and get ready for the next chapter of where this business is about to go. So with the creativity and the excitement from David and his partner, Seth, they came to me with, we want to build an event sauna, not just bring a mobile sauna or one of our prefab structures that we have and we sell on the market. We want to do something really different and really celebrate the global nature of sauna and different cultures. And it's not just Finnish who sauna as much as, you know, they steal the limelight in many ways. And I have Finnish blood in me too, so like, I get it. But there are so many different forms of sweat bathing, sauna, and banya that we want to celebrate through events like this. So it's not just a one size fits all, it fits everybody. So we had this idea and this vision to build this event sauna. We had a very short time frame to do it. We all got together. At the time, his shop is busy building many other saunas, one that's just launching here called the Plunge Sauna, and so their shop is really busy right now. So the builder network and finding somebody else who was available, it was like serendipity that just like fell upon us. And like there are times that my brother and I get kind of emotional, like, how is this happening? I spent the first 20 years of my career, I lived in New York, I was traveling nonstop. He was traveling on the road, building hotels and doing woodwork. Our families were just kind of split apart. This has been such a beautiful, and like, I'm not going to cry, but like this has been such a beautiful thing that's brought us together. I get to work alongside my brother and I find him to be like one of the most talented woodworkers. I cannot do that stuff, but I know that I can do things that he can't do. And when it comes to design, I started my my education as in industrial design. So I can do CAD, I can do graphic design, I can build structures. I know a lot about plastics, I know a lot about manufacturing, but when it comes to woodworking, I really depend on experts like David and Justus to help really bring that creative idea into a form that can structurally be made and make it possible. So it started out at a taco shop, and we drew it out on a napkin, being served by men with masks on.
It's a great taqueria in Washburn, Wisconsin.
Yeah,
So
Washburn, Wisconsin.
You have to go.
And the magic started there, and we're like, you know what? Let's build this in a way where we can take it on the road. So modularity was part of its whole feature. Because if you look at the sauna builds out there, the mobile ones, they're massive, they're really heavy. You have to pull the stove inside of it, and it takes a bit more to move it around. And it's also just going to be that one structure and that only structure for forever. We wanted to build it in a way where we could fit 20 people, we could fit 12 people, we could fit 40
I think we
people.
got like 35 in there.
There last night.
Wow.
It fits a lot.
Yeah.
But we wanted to be able to put it on the back of a trailer bed and disassemble it and reassemble it where it still maintained that same integrity. So we're developing really unique, protectable features in this sauna that allow for that modularity and that expansion, and that it can be packed up easily and it can, not deteriorate every time you're taking it apart and putting it back together. And it really highlights the unique features of different forms of heat. Right now we have two Iki stoves, which are Finnish stoves, and a Hum in the middle. And every time you're in front of that stove, we designed it with a pitched roof right above the stoves to really push up that lolu. So as you put the water on, it just blasts it back. And when you love sauna and you love that intense heat, it is a magical, magical feeling. And even seeing the steam roll in that way, you can't see that or feel that in the standard sauna. So we don't want to do things in a standard way because we're like children and we get to work as siblings together.
We put a swing
in it
Yeah.
because why the heck not? And
Absolutely.
it's so fun because it's not just because it's fun. It's also, there's a magical feeling. For one, it kind of brings back that youthfulness and the playfulness, but the function of rolling and moving through the heat, I don't know how to even describe it. You just have to do it to know it. It's just like you can't explain how good sauna is to your friends that think you're crazy wearing a bathing suit and flip-flops in the middle of winter. You're like, you won't know the feeling until you felt it yourself. But once you've felt it, you just want to spread it. You just want to share it with people.
The sauna itself it's magical, it's mystical a bit, but it's really that way because of the two of you. I mean, it is powerful. Brother and sister, they can share their own stories, but they're complex and they're formed by the pandemic. They're formed by loss.
Yeah.
Your dad passed away recently. Mm-hmm. They're formed by connecting and being with each other at a time in which you needed each other. And that was the same for me too. There's business models and all this stuff that sees the genius in what we're doing. But ultimately, we were like, look, we need each other. Like the three of us need each other and need healing.
Yeah.
And we want to create something beautiful and playful for the world. Because you can do a lot of junk in your life. But to make something beautiful and playful and invitational, to put aside the talk about money, and to take beautiful wood and stones and just make a place that people come in and they're like, oh my God, like this is, wow. I had no idea you could have a sauna be bright and airy. I had no idea you had a sauna that could blast me so I want to like dive to the floor, but I actually enjoy it.
Beautiful.
I mean,
Introduce yourself, please.
Yeah.
This is David joining the posse. There's three of us sitting here, and impromptu. I wanted to give a formal introduction, but please go ahead,
yeah,
David.
so David Dragseth. I'm the new owner of Superior Sauna. My dear friend and partner, Seth Kiefer, and I just had a dream. Many years ago, we were custom sauna builders. We did it alongside our previous job, which was as leaders of a large church in Milwaukee. I'm a Lutheran pastor, still am. But to keep sane and to keep grounded in the midst of all that, I was a builder. And I came to love builders and artisans. It's, you can talk forever about the difficulties of the world. You can preach. But to create a space that is healing and magical, I mean, I could just see how artists could do that in a powerful way. So about a year ago, we purchased Superior Sauna, and we're taking their great legacy, which was a legacy of commercial and resort sauna, but now we're sort of integrating it with some of the great kind of traditions that come from other parts of the world. I mean, everyone talks about what's going on in Europe. Sauna culture is amazing, but sauna culture in Korea is phenomenal. Japan is buying more Iki stoves, than Samuli can produce. Certainly Central America, we sell a lot of sauna to. South America. My Salvadoran friends tell me about their tradition of sauna and how much they love it, and they want me to build them one. So the fact that it's going on all over the world, Superior wants to sort of bring those kind of groups together.
Beautiful,
Yeah.
beautiful. Thank you. Let's go back to brother sister. There's something here under the surface about the connectivity that you guys were able to reestablish through this build process, and it's interesting. As you guys know, and listeners to Sauna Talk, I mean, I help hundreds, thousands of people build their own saunas. And sometimes what comes out is a bit of a stress through the building process. And, I often will share the motto of let's enjoy the journey as much as the destination, and how sauna building can be joyous in its process, in its journey. And I think you guys really, in a very short time, had some magic happen. And I want to turn to you, Justus, and explain, help explain a little bit, if you're comfortable, about your, your family situation at the time and reconnecting, with your sister. Can you revisit that a little bit?
Yeah, it's been like a dream that you didn't expect to have happen. When you, like you said, when you didn't know what you needed, and it's like those times where it's laid out for you, like every obstacle we've come across, and like during the build, and we're hours away from the supply house. Everything that we did, every step, it was like, oh my goodness, that's the last piece, don't mess up, and then we go to the next thing, and it was like, how is this possible? So I mean, there was guidance from somewhere, and
beautiful. Yeah. So the gods were with you. The supply gods were with you, and that I've been there.
Yeah.
It's like measure twice, right? This is our last board of this.
We go to grab the last log, and we're like, it's 44 inches, and we had no other choice. If we didn't have that one piece, the rest of the build would have been done by like 3 days, because we would have had to drive up to Superior to get it. We're just like, thank you, Dad. Thank you, Jesus, looking over us.
So we have Justus with us, and Shaelyn, brother, sister, and David from Superior Saunas. I'd like to open the floor up. This is a great opportunity. As I mentioned, most Sauna Talk episodes are one-on-one on the sauna bench, but we have this great audience with us. Please raise your hand, and what a crew we have here. Ask us a question, anything. Go ahead. Let's get into it. Raise your hands. You want to know more about the build process, more about Superior Saunas, sauna building, go ahead. Somebody ask a question, please. Keep talking.
More about the build process.
Okay, absolutely. More about the build process. Anything else on anybody's mind here with Sauna Talk?
I have a question about chimney.
Chimney?
Goes straight up through the roof or out the side of it?
Very good. Okay, more of the build process, chimney, other topics. Please be bold. Anything you want to talk about? I mean, you have a wealth of information sitting right here. Not to get too cocky about things. David, how many saunas have you had your hands in your career, let's call it? Your second career.
I mean, over my life, thousands. I mean, honestly, it's that many.
Yeah.
And I mean, it's a pleasure and an obligation to handle that many. I honestly, 10 calls a day from people who are building and giving references and helping people through their specific projects. And every one of them is, you can just tell there's this deep connection to what it is that they're building, and it needs deep. And the worst is when someone gets to the very end and they're trying to get that last little piece going so they can stoke up their sauna, and then they're in crisis and they need help.
It's usually the chimney. It's usually the chimney.
Chimney, or with the new stoves, electrical wiring. I mean, it's the combination of both, and to be there and to help them get going over that stuff.
And you guys stock full chimney components.
We do.
Which brand are you stocking?
We have a lot of brands, so I don't want to offend any one of them.
Yeah.
But wood burning stoves are amazing, and they have their own character and tradition. We do a lot of electric stoves as well. The advent of high stone capacity, high kilowatt electric stoves allows people to have 550 pounds of rock, even in an electric stove, so that radiant heat that is the real coveted, heat. Those stoves are really helping to a bunch of places where they wouldn't have accessibility and ability to burn. So, for example, one of our partners in Southern California, I sell a lot of saunas to North Carolina, Texas. Actually, we sell more to North Carolina right now than we do the UP. Mm-hmm. So that's crazy in sauna culture.
Right.
But Asheville, North Carolina's got a booming sauna culture.
Absolutely. And there you go, back to the candle that lights another candle. And when you feel good heat, it's all over. And then you want it for yourself, right, David?
Yeah. But I want to get back to the build, because I think being more granular is important. So the build in this sauna, we take beautiful 4x4 incense cedar, which is harvested from North Carolina. We're combining it with some sustainable hemlock paneling. We make it into panels with 4x4s that you can put together relatively quickly. But what it gives is a really airy, in the same way that this building that we're in right now was built, it allows you to get a little bit more space and openness. But then the structure allows you to do glass, some of the greenhouse sort of poly material. It allows you just to do some interesting, cool things with design that it shakes up the market a bit that it opens up and makes an airy space in a sauna. And I love all kinds of sauna, but barrels have their unique character. But if you go out and see the event sauna, it's just got something about it, which Justus saw. As an amazing woodworker, he's able to see the quality of a piece of wood and say, that piece of wood needs to be there in this sauna build, and I'm going to cut it perfectly so that when someone walks in, that's what they subconsciously see, and they don't even know they see it, but they're like, wow, this thing is beautiful. And a good artist does that with natural product.
Beautifully said. So back to the nuance here. I prefer, we're talking about the chimney. Okay, so we're jumping around, David.
Great.
But I like going straight up. Every elbow is a constraint. Once you get a good draw in your wood-fired sauna stove, the elbow doesn't really come into effect. But that first igniting of the stove, that cold, dense air has to get warm air. You have to create a convective loop there in the chimney stack to get through those two elbows. And one of the best ways to do that, if you are going through the wall and doing two elbows, is what I think is the upside down fire, where you light some newspaper that ignites some kindling, and then it ignites the logs below. So you can create a good draw that way. But generally speaking, I like to go straight up. How about you?
with the draw of my chimney.
Yeah.
Whatever works, honestly. I mean, look, we can get too stuffy about sauna, and our culture, especially here in Minnesota, we can get too conventional about how we do things. And so I talk to people all over the world who love the experience of sauna, and they've got a roof line that just won't let them do a straight thing, and they get all stressed out.
Right.
And I'm like, look, straight. But if you need to put a curve in it, I mean, this is a metaphor. If you need to put a curve in it, and enjoy your sauna, because it's like fantastic. And if you need to have an electric stove, that is amazing, because there's some amazing electric stoves. If you love wood-fired, fantastic, do it. I mean, Nippa, Kuma, Iki, Hum, I mean, these are phenomenal wood stoves on the market. Harvia even has an amazing entry-level wood stove. Pick the one that's right for you. The market has a bunch of choices, and frankly, lighten up and enjoy it, right?
David, that is music to my ears. Thank you for sharing that. That's a left turn I didn't expect, but absolutely. And I deal with that all the time too. There are in the North America sauna community, there is such a hunger for the quote unquote right way to build. And really, it's the build that is right for you is right. We go so deep trying to chase perfection that we lose sight of just the beauty of the sauna as its own entity.
It's hilarious because I deal a lot with professional contractors. I will have probably 3 or 4 HVAC professionals call me about venting in saunas a week, and they're always like, oh my gosh, we have to put in massive duct work, and it's going to go all the way to the 12th floor, and I have to do, and I'm like, just vent it to the room next door. And then they are all stressed out about it. And I'm like, it's fine. There's low humidity in your sauna, even though there's a lot of steam. Yeah. There's high heat. It's not going to make mold. You're okay.
Yeah. In defense of the tradesmen, I agree completely. It's so foreign. It's so foreign, and they want to apply their trade to sauna. Yeah. So you get it. But this is where we are in North America. It's a good thing. I mean, we're creating this open envelope toward expression. And David, you touched on it about the art. The art of sauna. Every sauna has its own soul. And one of the things I love about the DIY sauna is that we can create our own spirit of sauna with our own, and that's been a joy of mine, is helping people DIY and do their own. So we touched a little bit on the fireplace chimney. This build specifically, I'm gonna put in the show notes a couple of great photos of this sauna, this special sauna, this event sauna, the modularization of it. Any more specific question about the architecture of it? Go ahead. You want to build one of your own? Yeah, a lot of people do, and there's so many directions you can go. We talk about a shed company. If you really want to take a nice shortcut, one of the ways that many undertake their own sauna build is to hire a shed company to shell up a structure. And what's really awesome about that is, it's a competitive market. It's not a ripoff. And, a team comes in and they show up at 8 o'clock in the morning, and by 2, 3 in the afternoon, they're running the magnet and picking up any loose nails on the floor. And now you have a shed. And what a lot of people will do is go out and then just start to conceptualize the sauna from there. And one of the things I try to encourage is don't get all crazy about where your window placements are. You can come back with get like a pizza box out and start fabricating your window locations, because when you feel it, you know it, right? And then you can come back and sawzall out for windows and create your own culture, your own spirit of your sauna. So great questions. Go ahead. Question.
It's sort of two-sided. So I think explaining the people that are wanting to maximize the therapeutic benefit of sauna use, persistent use of that, like explain what's happening to our body by persistent exposure to a sauna, and then to pair that with, on the build process, what are some of the things that are important if you're wanting to maximize the therapeutic benefit of saunas? Yeah. Like what not to shortcut, or like what thing with your ceiling height, and like
Okay.
from the stone.
Do you want me to try that one, David?
Yeah, you've done an amazing job just with this podcast, bringing to all of us these fantastic professionals who have talked about the health benefits. So go and search the podcast because there's great data on it. But one of the trends that is emergent is this trend of a little bit higher heat sauna and definitely strong steam sauna and contrast therapy. So getting really hot, getting really cold, relaxing in between. One of your podcasts, Glenn, was so fantastic. It was like hot, cold, relax. Hot, cold. I always think of that. I'm like, my goal in the middle then is to make my body as relaxed as possible.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic.
I mean,
oh my
it's
God,
just like, so getting yourself really hot and training yourself to sort of take, I mean, I'm talking temperatures 170 to 200. Some of these new stoves go to 230. That's electric. You know, with a wood fired, you can, sky's the limit, honestly.
Yeah.
But slowly adapting, and what it does is it basically works your body out the same way of like physical exercise, and it moves your blood around, and it uses all your natural filtration systems. And I mean, you have all the stats better than I do, so I'm not going to try to quote them again. But longevity, overall health, just capacity. Decreasing your relative age. I mean, the health benefits.
Yeah, a marketed decrease in all-cause mortality. And they love talking about that on other podcasts where it's all about optimization, life optimization, health optimization. And then there's this movement toward regulation, like because of heart rate monitors, the Aura Ring and whatever, like there's this incredible hunger for data, like let's prove how sauna is good for us. But I want to kind of come at it a little different. Like we all know sauna is good for us, and I'll reference Dr. Jari Laukkanen in the seminal study that was published in 2016 that studied 2,315 Finnish men for 20 years. And that's where I joke that Dr. Jari Laukkanen is responsible for more sauna sales than all of the sauna dealers in the world combined. And it really, has been that way. I mean, his study really put sauna on the map, and everybody has clamored towards sauna. A lot of people have clamored towards sauna because of the health benefits. But the little irony to this is that the Finns don't count their sauna rounds, and they don't have to, do heart rate monitoring and stuff. They just do it, right? And my personal belief is, as a sauna enthusiast for over 35 years, is that, the mental health benefits, the chill, the relaxing, this is our time. That drives the physical benefits. So this contrast therapy and stuff, absolutely fantastic. But is there anything better than to create your own time and space for something so enjoyable? Right. So go ahead, Shaelyn.
Well, I just want to speak to that because going back to what first introduced me to sauna and moving back from living in New York and high intense, high pace on a jet, going to the next event, it was a great life, and I appreciate that was a part of my life, and I learned a lot from it. But moving back to the Midwest, the reason I came back here was my dad was dying of cancer. Our dad was dying of cancer. And I was going like this in my career. There was no reason for me to walk away from my New York life. And I came back in a very short time frame, and serendipity, it was like just a path was made for us. My husband was offered a job to relocate us back to Minneapolis 2 days after we found out my dad was stage 4 cancer. And I just said, that's what matters. That's what matters most, is where I need to be in this time. So when I moved back here, I will say the one thing I was concerned about was my own mental and physical health to get through the winters, because I got a little spoiled in New York when it came to like they call this winter? Like, this is snow? Like, what is this? And so moving back here, I was trying to prepare myself for what am I going to do to keep myself happy, to keep myself in a state, because our dad struggled with mental health. The winters were horrible growing up for us. He started tanning. He went to like tanning beds. You know, he used to say, he'd say, I can't wait until tomorrow. And we'd be like, what's tomorrow? He goes, I just get better looking every day. But he'd go to tanning beds because it made him feel better. It created heat in his body. He thought that it made him look better. And in his mind, he was transporting himself to the tropics. He went to Jamaica every year just for that little boost of what can get me through the winter as I look to next year. And had he had sauna in his life, had we had sauna in our lives growing up, I think our lives would have been a lot different. So when I experienced that, and I got exposed to that through John and through the healing and the operations that were happening there, I was like, whoa, I feel different. And I feel motivated. I feel a new appreciation versus this like, ugh, I gotta go shovel today. And now I'm like, you see a crappy day where it's like sleeting down ice on a snowy day. I'm like, oh, this would be a great sauna day.
Sauna day.
Perfect sauna day.
How often do we shovel between sauna rounds?
Yes.
I've been
shorts.
caught that way.
Your neighbors love to see you out there.
That's it.
During
Your towel or maybe nothing.
During COVID, we would have the mobile sauna pulled up to our parking or into our garage. And we live on a busy street here in Minneapolis. And we would be out there with my kids with our swimsuits on and sandals on Thanksgiving morning, hanging out. But that experience and the mental health benefit for me, that's what's driven my passion in this space.
Right.
But as a creator, as a creative, I started out in furniture design. I used to teach welding and woodworking in college to all the incoming students in the studio. I love to work with my hands, and spending 20 years in corporate where I'm on a computer and directing people, like I missed the hand, like feeling like it was something that I created. So this process, building this art sauna, designing it from sketch to CAD model to being in the shop with my brother, cutting the wood, smelling the sound, that like almost like banana and vanilla flavor of wood. It now looking at the sauna, I mean, that's why I won't buy another prefab sauna. I want to build my own too. I want to pick out what ingredients I want to build my own, master pie. Like I wanted the ingredients and to put my own sweat into it, literally. Because when you go out and sit on that bench, it's like, I remember cutting that with my brother. And beautiful. I remember the smell of that moment. And it's going to be, paying in dividends for the rest of my life.
Didn't your mom sand everything?
Oh, yeah. So my mom is here as well. She's our volunteer coming in.
Forced labor.
Right. Towards the end, we're like, oh, we're really getting down to the final, the final days. And, our dream is also to go back to Norway and to visit the native land of our ancestors. And the other kind of serendipitous thing is we found out this last week that David's family and our family are 1 mile apart from where our ancestors grew up. On the other side.
It was over a mountain, so they probably spoke different languages.
Yeah, exactly.
Wow.
So there's just so many things that I feel like, my leadership in this community for sauna here in Minneapolis has been such a great way to connect with other like-minded people. But also, this is the most fun I've had, like in my career. I've worked on some really cool new brand launches, big events, Super Bowl, halftime shows, lots of halftime shows. This is just so fun.
I want to take this back to the question about how to build a sauna to optimize, and I hate that word actually, optimize, but I got caught saying it. How do we build a sauna for the best health benefit? I think that was the essence of your question, right?
Yeah.
The mental side is part of the aesthetic contributes to that as well.
Yeah.
The engineering.
Correct. Good. And I want to introduce that topic because I love that topic. And to me, a good sauna is one where your entire core is heated. Okay. And so we can start to speak about some of these health club saunas, perhaps, that don't allow water to be tossed on the rocks or very poor ventilation. So you could go in and maybe it's 180, 190 Fahrenheit, but it's 10, 15 minutes before you break a sweat, but your ears are hot. That is the what we like when we build a sauna is to create an atmosphere, a climate, so that when we exit the hot room, our entire core the mass has been transferred into our bodies. And then subsequently in the cool down, I often talk about the holy trinity of a good cool down. And what is that? Well, it's cold water, it's nature, and it's time. And time is so significant because, when we feel cold wind on our skin, there's this conditioned response like, oh my God, I got to go back in the sauna. But there's the wedge that's created between the stimulus of that cold wind and our response to it, which is in our control. And when we take a deep Wim Hof breath, and we say, well, wait a minute, my core is still really hot, it becomes a magical moment, right? So when we build our sauna that allows for that climate of heat, steam, ventilation, fully heated, and then a vibe, an atmosphere outside to listen to the nature, then we're really, it's a rubber band theory of extenuating that process in a full range.
I want Justus to talk a little bit about, because as a builder, you're just, you get it. So tell him about putting the glass in and the poly and the kind of little glimpses out and the little dance thing. And I'm just, because you seem to play with that stuff, and I just love that.
It's all kind of come together on its own, but I do feel like every nook and cranny has its purpose, and we're finding out every day a little bit more and more. There was thought behind that, and we're finding out why as we go.
We in the event sauna, glass is using it artfully is really an interesting thing, because there's nothing better than sitting, in a sauna at 190 degrees and looking out at your 20 below wind blowing against your house and being like, I love winter, and I'm feeling super. Or the sauna outside here, you can't see directly out. There's still some privacy, but you can see everyone's feet as they walk around. And I love to sit in the sauna and look at hundreds of feet at this event, walking on the snow and being playful. The sauna has, this poly, so that at night you can see the silhouettes of, especially the event saunas where they use the fans and such. You can see this, it looks like a choreographed dance through from the outside. As you're looking in, you can see people moving their, we're doing the motions here, you can't see it, but moving their towels and stuff. It just, pay attention to that kind of thing and the use of other materials when you're building your sauna.
Are we good? How are we doing?
Yeah.
I appreciate everybody's attendance to Sauna Talk. I'd like to keep a tradition alive in that I'd like to ask guests a couple of few repeated questions. So bear with us unless there's a final question or two from the audience. We doing good? Shoot.
I wouldn't mind following up with the chimney question.
Okay.
We're in our insane chimney go to the roof today.
Yes. Good.
Flashing, the boot and the flashing.
Yes. So there is a post on Sauna Times called "Let's Make Purchasing."
I've been through it a lot.
All right, brother. And then you got the Menards code numbers, but we'll take that one offline.
But just in general, when fastening the top, are those boots good enough to throw screws through?
Well, there's a great product called Lexol that is sort of the steroid version of, and we'll visit that right after this recording. I'd love to chat a little bit more. Now, I want to ask Justus, we talk about the mobile sauna world, and I'm going to go around the horn to our three guests. If you could have a mobile sauna and bring it anywhere in the world, what's the first place that comes to mind for you?
I would say Superior.
Lake Superior?
Yeah.
I want to be in Norway. I want to be on the Skrady Lake, which is where my ancestors apparently owned that land or founded on that land. So I would love, it's the deepest lake in Norway. I would love it just looking right out at that.
David?
So I love mobile sauna, but my favorite place to sauna is in the sauna my dad and I built. I mean, he and I built a sauna together when I was 12, and we've redesigned it over the years, but when he and I sit there, it's a spiritual moment, and it's been a joy to give that to my family as well.
And if you could sauna with anybody in the world, dead or alive, past, present, who's the first person that comes to mind for you, David? And as you're thinking, do you have an answer?
Look, there's a lot of famous people in the world that I love to talk to, but I think honestly for all of us who've been through loss, to be able to sit with like my grandfather, my grandma, and just see him again. I mean, sauna disarms us to our essential core. And who can be there with you when everything else is stripped away? That's who you want to be with in the sauna.
Yeah, our dad, to see him feel and like how he would react. Yeah.
I would say my father too.
Thank you. Yeah. What do you think about sauna? We're in North America. We're in Minnesota. David, I'll start with you. Well, I'd like to end with you with this question because I know you get asked this all the time. What do you think is most misunderstood about sauna in North America? Given this audience on Sauna Talk, that you would like those not familiar with sauna to know. Like, what do you think is most misunderstood?
That it's not just about sitting half naked and sweating. That it's a full body. It's a mental experience that really for me is like it's a state of euphoria, and it's the best drug on earth.
I'm gonna agree. It's a healing process.
Yeah.
Mental and physical.
David.
In our celebration of different cultures of bathing, we can exalt one of those cultures above another. And sauna is about unity. And it's about teaching us how to appreciate all the global traditions of heat and cold and bathing. And I mean, my hope is that a festival like this just teaches us how many cultures are doing this and how amazing it is. And there's not one right way, but just to cultivate a spirit of curiosity in our time, which is needed. I mean, we all know how needed that is for our world right now.
Yeah.
Not to exalt your one way, but to be curious and learning of someone else's way. That's good stuff.
Thank you. Thank you for being a part of Sauna Talk on this beautiful day. Cheers. How about a round of applause?